everyone. Welcome to Loving It on Keto with Wendy. And as usual, Sally sees me sitting in the blue chair and she thinks she has to come and sit with me. So if you see some little beige ears or a tail, it's my little Sally girl. So I'll try to keep on track as she's wiggling and moving around. Anyway, I wanted to do a 3-week checkup on any new beginners that have started the ketogenic lifestyle and to see where we all are and kind of give some more tips on how to keep it simple, simple keto lifestyle for everyone. So by now you've probably gotten the hang of how to, have some meat or some fish or some poultry, have a little bit of vegetables, or a nice small salad with a little bit of dressing, how to put a little bit of butter. You're using your salt, good real salt like Redmond real salt or Himalayan pink salt or a really good Celtic sea salt on your food. By now you should be using an electrolyte of your choice, either a drop or a powder or a pill, but you need to be taking those. That electrolyte needs to have sodium, potassium, and magnesium in it. Those are the 3 minimum electrolytes that you need to be taking on a daily basis. And as a friendly reminder, the reason why we need to be taking electrolytes and salt on a daily basis is because now that we are fat adapted, our fat cells, they release the fat from within the cell to be used as energy, they also release the water, and with the water goes the trace minerals. So we need to be making sure that we are taking our electrolytes and that we are using our salt. So now I think we need to fine tune it a little bit. I don't know if you've been out there and researching and looking at some of the Dr. Ken Berry's, the Eric Berg, MD, the different channels that I suggested for you to watch. But I know that everybody, in the beginning, I just wanted you to get used to just eating real whole foods. I wanted you to get rid of all of the starches, the sugars, the carbohydrates, which are, the wheat, the oats, the pastas, the breads, the chips, the potatoes, the sweet potatoes, the corn, that type of thing, and get used to eating the whole real food. Now it's time to bring it down and fine tune it a little bit. Some people have lost 100 pounds or more and have never tracked their macros on their ketogenic journey, and they're on maintenance and they're still not tracking. Some people, like myself, that has a very damaged metabolism from all of the years of yo-yo dieting, up and down, mainly going up after every single diet, losing the weight and then gaining that weight back and then adding 20 pounds to the point where I was 282 pounds in 2005 to now where I am 180 pounds and still losing, is that I need to track and watch what I am eating a little closer than some people like yourself may or may not need to do. And the reason for that is when I had my lap band and all of the diets that I've done and the calorie deprived diets that I've done, I have lowered my metabolism to the point where I was eating 500 to 800 calories a day and not losing weight. I'm up now. I've been able to bring my metabolism up into the 1300, 1400 range, low 1200, high 1400 range, and have been able to lose over 46 pounds on the ketogenic lifestyle. But I have to keep my total carbs at 20 grams. You're going to see a lot of people, a lot of YouTubers out there that can do net carbs, 20 net carbs, and what that means is you take your carbohydrate and you deduct the fiber within that item, and that's your net carbs. So for instance, broccoli, cauliflower, all vegetables have a little bit of carbs in them, but they also have a lot of dietary fiber. So what you want to do is you want to do your measurement. You want to measure a cup, and you want to Google what a cup of broccoli, steamed broccoli, goes for, and then you want to look at the total carbohydrate. And this is for the United States of America, folks. I know in England and Europe, I watch Ginger's Keto in the UK, and I watch Keto Christina, who is also over in Europe, and their products already have the dietary fiber in their carbs. So the carbs they show on their packaging is net carbs. So you need to figure out where you live, what country you live in, how your packaging, how your government has allowed the packaging to be, to make sure that it's either total carbs and you're allowed to deduct the fiber, or your fiber has already been deducted and that's net carbs. So that's really important. So basically, with that said, I think that if you're going to be getting more fine-tuned, you need to use an application to track your food. First, you're going to need to find out how many calories you need in a day. So you can either Google for a ketogenic calculator, or you can go to a website such as ruled.me/keto-calculator, and I'll put the URL below. But basically, so you go to the ketogenic calculator. If you're starting a ketogenic diet, you need to calculate how much you should eat. And this is just a baseline, folks. You're going to tweak it as you go. So basically, I am in the United States. I want imperial, not metric. I am a female. I am 5 feet, 9 inches, and I weigh 180 pounds. Well, I am 60. What is my body fat percentage? Was 26.6 on my scale this morning. You always want to use, and if you need to know what your body fat percentage is, Google that, and there's a formula that you can use to find out what your body fat percentage is just by Googling it. It should be free. You should not have to pay for it. So I would put down that you are sedentary, folks. And the reason for that is you want the optimum amount. You want, how active? How come it's not taking it? Sedentary. Not much activity with little or no exercise. I wouldn't put the lightly active or moderately active because it adds more food, more calories. And right now, I would start sedentary, and then you can adjust it as you go along. So what are my goals? I would put no more than a 20% deficit, calorie deficit to begin with. So this has 20%. And how many carbs do you want to consume? Now, they're asking for net carbs on this particular one. So you can put 20 in, even though for me, it's 20 total carbs. But just to get your food allowance, the caloric amount that you should be starting with, this is going to help. So let's calculate. How much should I be eating a day? I should be eating around 1,273 calories. Based on my input, it says that I should be getting 97 grams of fat, 20 grams of carb, and 79 grams of protein. Okay, I am gonna tell you that this is low for me. I am in about 1,300 to 1,400. The lows are 1,200 to 1,400. You never want to go below 1,200 calories, no matter what. So you might want to go a little bit higher to begin with so that you can adjust it down accordingly. So basically, that's what you're going to plug in. So you're going to write that down, how much you should be eating a day. And then when you find the calorie tracking and food tracking application like MyFitnessPal or Carb Manager or Lose It or Chronometer or Fitbit, you punch that in and then you start logging your food. And then you'll be able to see if you've met or exceeded on a daily basis. But you need to track and you need to have your macros and your caloric intake calculated first. So we're going to insert this and then go back to the discussion. I have a Fitbit, and my Fitbit has a great app for tracking my food and populating all of that. And if you've watched one of my other channels, I'll link it to this one that shows my Fitbit application that I have where I'm tracking all of that. But I would get one of the free apps like Carb Manager or MyFitnessPal. You can get the free version, which is the more basic. And if you want to even fine tune it more, you can opt to purchase the next upgrade that's in their system or their tracking. But I really feel, after researching and watching a lot of the YouTubers out there that are doing keto vlogs, the free Carb Manager and the free MyFitnessPal, there's also, and I took notes, folks, so there's Lose It, which is an app. There's Chronometer. So I will have those linked below where you guys can click on those and go take a look at them. And what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to populate all of the information so that you can set up your macros properly. Now, there's a standard macro formula that is out there. And basically is you get 5% of your macros, and remember, folks, that's macronutrients. And the 3 macronutrients we're talking about on keto that you're going to hear all the time are carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. And remember, if you've watched my Keto for Beginners week 1 and week 2, carbohydrates are totally non-essential. Your body does not need any carbohydrates to live and to live healthfully, okay? But you do need fat, healthy fat, and you do need proteins. So the average formula, the beginning formula that you can use as your springboard into diving into your macros that you're going to need to figure out for yourself are 5% of your food should come from carbohydrates. 25% of your macros should come from proteins. And 75% should come from good, healthy fats. Okay? This is not, again, and I want to repeat myself, this is not a butter, cheese, and bacon diet. Okay? The healthy fats need to be coming from the plants that you eat in forms of vegetables and the meats that you ingest and the fish and the shellfish and the poultry and any wild game food that you eat as well, because those things naturally have fat in their meat. Because you want to be careful when you're adding fat sources, plain fat sources, because if you're like me, I am on a weight loss journey. I want to lose the fat that I have on my body. I want my body to learn how to burn the fat for fuel. But if I'm eating and overeating fat from outside sources, my body may not release the fat that's on my body. So you need to be careful and watch those things. and you will be able to see on your weight loss journey what works better for you. Higher protein, not so much fat, or maybe a little bit more fat and less protein. And those are something that's totally unique to every single person. So I would start with the 5% carbs, the 25% protein, and the 75% fat rule to get started. Sorry folks, Harry, cameraman, and myself have caught a cold, so I had to cut the camera for coughing, and luckily it stayed in our heads and hasn't gone any further, and we haven't caught that nasty flu that's going around. And I actually attribute some of the facts that we have a mild cold is from the fact that we're eating keto and it's helping our immune system. I think the reason why I caught a cold at all is because I had surgery in November and my immune system was a little bit down. But anyway, back to macros. So what I want you to start doing in this week, you should be starting, your body should become fat adapted if it hasn't already. You should be feeling better. You should be okay with what you're eating. I want you to start counting and logging the food that you eat. And in order to do that, you need to get a food scale. There are a lot of different styles out there. You can Google it on Amazon. You can go to Target. You can go to Walmart. Get a food scale. Find the one that you like and start using it, okay? Learn how to zero it out, read the instructions, and just start using it. I think a food scale gives you a better, accurate weight and measure than the tablespoon, teaspoons, the cups, the plastic or the metal containers that you have. And I think if you learn how to measure in grams, that is even more easy. And the reason for that is that is universal. And usually on the back of the food packages, the serving sizes, more in Europe than the United States, but the United States shows gram weight as well as serving size as well. And I would use it, and I would get a scale that you can change from ounces to grams to liters, etc. Just so that you can turn it over, change it, and figure out what works for you. But I basically would start weighing my food. You will get used to seeing and being able to eyeball what size portion of protein. Once you start weighing and measuring and logging, you're going to see what size works best for you, okay? And as your weight loss journey progresses, you're going to be able to more fine-tune it and tweak it to your needs by weighing and measuring your food, okay? What you think you're looking at is a whole lot different than actual sizes, and a lot of people overestimate how much they think they're eating. Oh no, that's about a tablespoon, and you put it on the scale and all of a sudden it's 2 tablespoons, right? So you're eating twice as much fat as you thought you were just by taking the time to measure it. So I think that that's an important step, okay? There are people out there that have never had to do that, and that's fine. But I think for at least in the beginning, and then maybe later when you have maybe come into a slower, your weight loss is stalling a little bit, going back to the basics, and start weighing and measuring again to get yourself and your mindset on, oh, that's what my portion looks like. That's what a portion of meat looks like for me. That's what a portion of vegetables looks for me. And by doing that and then logging and tracking it, you're going to see, am I satisfied? Do you feel satiated? Is the amount of protein and fats and vegetables that you're eating, is that working for you? So that you can fine tune it. You can see what it is on paper, on your app, in hard black and white. You can see the grams, you can see how many you've been ingesting, and you can see it on the plate. So that if you're out and about, or you're on a trip, or you're just being social, you can start gauging by your plate, and you can feel comfortable and not have to worry about ingesting more than what you normally would do. You can see it and you can say, okay, yeah, that's about right. That's about the right size of meat. That's about the right size amount of vegetables, and go from there. So anyway, folks, if you guys have any questions or concerns, or you want me to talk about or go into depth about something else, please feel free to either write me via email or just log a comment and I will get back to you. I hope that your keto journey is going well for you. I hope you're feeling better. I hope that your health has improved, and I hope that you keep everything keto. Keep it simple, folks. Don't forget, keep it simple. If you guys like what you see, please like, subscribe, ring that bell, and give me a thumbs up. Talk to everybody soon. Bye.